Hello everybody and welcome back to Back Out of the Case. This is Skyflight44, aka Zect44, and today I am playing Pokemon Stadium 1. Now we're going to be doing the last cup we haven't really shown off, the last thing we haven't really shown off so far. That's the Prime Cup. What's the Prime Cup? Basically exactly like the Pika Cup, except level 100. Yes! This cup is probably one of the most fun. But if you're doing round 2 and trying to get your own Pokemon here, it's probably one of the most frustrating, because trying to get level 100 Pokemon is already a difficult task. Not so much for, difficult as in really difficult, but difficult as in tries your patience. I picked, as you can probably see, not Haunter and not Kadabra. That's weird. Why did I do that? Mainly because I could. Mainly because I didn't want this entire playthrough to be Haunter, Gastly only run. They're useful. Unlike a Magikarp. Why would you lead off with a Magikarp? Yes, what is the point of Magikarp in this game? Actually, trying to get Magikarp into the Hall of Fame isn't all that difficult. It's just that you go from having, like 5 Pokemon to choose from instead of having 6, which kind of limits what you actually have. But you don't actually, you only get your Pokemon into the Hall of Fame if you actually do the Elite Four Champion and the what was it called? Gym Leader Castle, the Master Ball Cup for the Prime Cup and the Pika Cup, and or the Petite Cup and the and the Poke Cup. No, Master Ball on the Poke Cup and the Pika Cup. I got those two mixed, but I actually use these Pokemon because I never use them. I use Nidoking a couple of times in this game. I actually use Nidoking in the game every now and again, but I never use Nidoqueen. I don't really know why. It's probably the the Nidoking already doesn't really have too great or an actual attack stat, so Nidoqueen, which actually has even less attack, isn't really my first choice of a Pokemon. But yeah, I never use Nidoqueen. I never use Slowbro. Mainly because Slowbro I never actually find in many of the games. I don't even know if you can actually get Slowpoke in Gen 1 without actually trading to that one guy that has the Slowbro. But then again, I never really cared too much. But Magmar is another one I never get because of its rarity. But Magmar also looks like it has an ass for a head. And that's weird. Especially in this game, it looks weird. I never use it mainly because it just looks weird. It can learn Confuse Ray, which is a huge bonus in my book. Psychic, some good fire type moves. Has some decent special. It's actually a fairly good Pokemon to actually use, especially as you can get something like Thunder Punch onto it, which if you have, like Silver or Gold, put it onto that, give it Thunder Punch, bring it back. I don't know if that would consider to be cheating in this game. I don't know if we can actually technically learn Thunder Punch in this game, but it definitely can in the second one. It just has no way of learning Thunder Punch in this game. Any illegal move in which it might be legal in the second gen, but not in the first, I believe is Colored pink, from what I heard. I've always used the rental Pokemon, so I never really have the opportunity to use illegal Pokemon, but or illegal moves. But yeah, I'm just dicking around. If I was really trying to have you know, the most efficient gameplay, I would be using Kadabra, I would be using Jolteon, I would be using all of the good Pokemon. But I decided, what the hell, let's pick something I haven't actually used too much. And to really be honest with you, I barely use any of these Pokemon, except maybe Fearow, every now and again, and Victory Bell. But then again, I only really use Bellsprout and Weeping Bell. Mainly because it's hard enough trying to get a goddamn Leaf Stone, Silver and Gold. I think you can get them easily, or more easily in Soul Silver, but I barely play Soul Silver, even though when people say it's better than Silver and Gold. But that's probably nostalgia for me. I just wish it would allow me to go and use the old tunes immediately and not have to go through the actual game, all of the game, before I can finally start listening to the old tunes. Really, what is the point in putting something nostalgic in the game when you actually have to go through the entire game before you can start using it? You have to beat all 16 gym leaders, I believe, before you can actually get that. And that, to me, is bullshit. You don't actually have to you don't have to be able to get it at the very beginning of the game. It maybe just beat the Elite Four, and then you can get it. Not all this, not beat every single gym leader in existence before, or not in existence, but well, that's in Kanto Johto. But still, that gets to me. Why? Then again, I have too much nostalgia for Pokemon Silver. It's still one of my favorite games of all time. It may not be my favorite one of all time, but I can definitely go back to that game. Actually, scratch that. If I'm using an actual challenge run, I can go back to Pokemon Silver whenever I want to. If I'm not doing a challenge run, it can be quite difficult for me to go back to Pokemon Silver, considering how many times I've played and beaten the game. I'll actually talk about Pokemon Stadium for once. Granted, I've been going on a lot of, like, just tangents, but, they've all been Pokemon related, so I'm probably not gonna stop myself. Yeah, in the original game, the critical hit rate was bound to the speed of your Pokemon, which actually makes it so that having like level 100 Pokemon, Razor Leaf's gonna be pretty good, and critical hit rate's gonna be awesome. And if you have a Pokemon such as Persian, when its speed is already fairly good, and it has Slash, which is also buffed up with the Stab boost, that move will almost always do a shitload of damage, because 70 damage for Slash alone, Stab boost gives it 105, and the crit will give it 210, which is, I will tell you, is actually better than Self-Destruct, better than Hyper Beam, better than most things. Actually, screw that. I believe Self-Destruct is normal, so using Self-Destruct with Persian, though it can't use it, would do more damage, and Hyper Beam the same thing, but, that's bullshit. You definitely know they had to have changed that. But, you still do get a lot of critical hits with something like Slash or Razor Leaf in the 2nd gen, which actually makes Chikorita really, really powerful right out of the get-go. It learns it at level 7. It learns Razor Leaf at level 7, I believe, or maybe 8. But damn, you get the Miracle Seed as well right after you beat the first gym. I don't care whether Chikorita has the disadvantage against flying types and against bug types, but that Razor Leaf will take you through the entire game. When your Pokemon learns its best move at level 7, there's something wrong. Okay, Magmar? Yeah, good. Sable fails because you suck. Sometimes it's good to be slow. Yeah, it didn't defeat it. I wish you were a little bit more powerful, Slowbro. Barry, why are you using Metronome? Now that I think about it, I wonder, can Metronome even bring in moves like Teleport and such? Actually, now that I think about it, can there are illegal moves in some of these cups. Could you actually use Metronome and get those illegal moves, such as Dragon Rage and such in like Pokemon Stadium 2 in the Petite Cup? Not the Petite Cup, the Little Cup. Stuff like that. Or, there has to be some kind of illegal moves in this game. They're not coming to mind, but, I believe Explosion might be illegal in some of these. Not Self-Destruct, but Explosion.
The Pokemon are entirely different types.
Bye-bye, Krabby.
Razor Leaf Flurry.
It's almost as if it was going to do critical hit, super effective, and low special on Krabby. Bye-bye, Krabby. I hope I wasn't too harsh. I haven't used Krabby in years. I remember the one time I used Krabby was actually in the Pokemon Silver, way back in the early days of me actually playing Pokemon. I actually did like it. Vice Grip was really useful on it because it was actually, I think the power on Vice Grip's only maybe like 50, but Krabby had a great attack stat that it really didn't matter. But its special stat was just so weak in the fact that water type moves, and which also made Crab Hammer a special type move, useless on Krabby. I don't care what people there are people that think that the attack special split for actual types. I don't see how that's a bad thing. I see that as a great thing. A lot of people, not a lot of people, but I have read people just complaining about it. There a lot of Pokemon like Gyarados, not so much, but there are Pokemon like Gyarados, like Kingler, like just like a lot of Ghost Pokemon that were completely screwed over by the fact that their type wasn't the actual wasn't good with the attack stat they had. Kingler, great attack, horrible special attack. Actually, it's more so Haribo special defense from what I remember, more so than special attack. But then again, I don't remember every single stat for
We're
Pokemon.
waiting for the
I mean,
next Pokemon.
it's probably going to be around 800 in October, so I can't remember them all. But
The Pokemon
Gyarados,
are
great
entirely
attack.
different types.
decent special attack, not bad special attack, but great attack. It kind of needed, it definitely needed water to have physical moves, but
There's a difference in the number
like
of reserve Pokemon.
another thing, just looking even
Oh, it's
farther
time.
behind that, why was Dark
The
and
remaining
Ghost,
Pokemon count is 3-1.
why were they opposite of what the most of the Pokemon in it were actually good at? Just
What now?
a lot of the Dark
Yeah,
moves
it's a hit.
seemed like they would be physical. Bite, Crunch, Thief. A lot of those moves,
Savage attack.
Astonish,
Super effective.
a lot of them seem like they're going to be physical type moves, but Dark was supposedly special. On the other hand, I can see how a lot of the Ghost moves could be, you know, well, that physical, like Lick, Shadow Claw, and all that stuff. But though Shadow Claw came later, stuff like well, that Shadow Ball, and just the fact that Ghost Pokemon were mainly good with special types anyway. Their special attack was much higher than their actual special defense. I mean, not special defense. What am I thinking? Attack. Just makes me think that Ghost type moves should have been special, and Dark type moves should have been regular physical attacks.
Spinning out. We're into round 6.
It's still weird to me. Oh. Mr. Butt for a head. Seriously, Magmar looks creepy with its head, with its mouth, with everything, with the animation. It looks
Pokemon looks wrong.
weird, and 1 health left. Really 1 health left. Good thing this failed, because that I would have called bullshit on that.
Heated match.
But
Oh, fire punch.
I think I was gonna use Magmar once. In my last, my last attempt at playing, what was it, Black 2.
Oh, it got me.
Actually, no. Yeah, it was Black
How will
2.
the type difference
Um,
affect that?
I was gonna catch a Magby. I actually did catch a Magby, but I didn't play the game long enough
Is that?
for me to actually really play it. So I didn't actually really use it either.
It's confused.
Black and White,
Neither one
I
is
never actually
completely
finished.
easy.
Mainly because I didn't feel like doing a little bit of level grinding before the Elite Four. However, just trying
And it's
Black 2 and White 2, I
There's
can
a
see how
distinct
people
difference
see
in
it's
the
better
number
than
of
Black and
remaining
White,
Pokemon.
but I've actually played,
Oh,
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I've played the 4th gen more times than I've played the 5th gen. The 5th gen's better than the 4th gen, but
whoa,
I can, I've beaten Black and White. Well, that's 2, Black 2 and White 2 once. I haven't, I've gotten close to, but I haven't beaten Black and White. I've beaten Diamond like 6, 7 times at least.
Major damage.
That's not counting the 2 times I've beaten it on an emulator.
It's a hit.
I'm not that big.
The heated
I'm not
battle
going.
rages
I'm not
on.
one of those people that denounces the 4th gen as being a
It's
crappy,
off, it's confusing.
crappy gen. But
That's a good hit.
the 4th generation wasn't all that bad.
It's down.
Definitely was the weakest one.
And there goes
It's not going to be the weirdest one. Some of the things they're trying to pull off in the 6th gen is interesting, to say the least. That Mega Evolutions thing is weird. And the fairy type. I'm gonna go on. I'm definitely gonna say that they probably should have added an 18th type years ago, probably in the 4th generation. However, I'm gonna be saying that they shouldn't have added Steel type and Dark type in the 2nd generation. They should have added that shit in the 3rd generation. Because the Dark type and Steel type, though they were added in for balancing to, you know, make Psychic types a lot weaker than they should have been. But they could have done that some other way. Maybe they should have added Dark types. Or possibly Steel types. One of them. But out of 251 Pokemon, there's like 5 Pokemon that are Dark. There are like 5 Pokemon that are Steel. And not all of them are actually good. You add them in to actually balance them out, but there's so little Dark types, there's so little Steel types. It doesn't make a damn difference. And Dark types and Steel types really got a lot more Pokemon in the 3rd gen. I really feel like as if they're actually useful in the 3rd gen. It's actually the same thing with Dragon types. They weren't actually all that plentiful either until the 3rd gen. And just how few you have, so many types to try to balance all of them out. But you have, for a few of them, other than normal and water, you have too few actual Pokemon in it to really be able to balance any of it. However, by the time you have 400, 500, 600 Pokemon, you kinda need more types than just 17 to actually not so much balance the Pokemon out, but to make sure you have fewer and fewer actual just to have fewer Pokemon that are just useless, to have fewer Pokemon that are just copies of each other. The 5th gen, while it was good, you definitely see a lot just what kind of Pokemon they were based after the other generations. Some of them played the exact same roles with the exact same types. By that point, you should just add in another type, so you can, you know, have your new Pokemon, but also not use the same Pokemon under different names, different just appearances. And I'm definitely looking to 5th gen for that. They should have added Fairy type in the 5th gen. And I'm thinking adding in 1 type is not... They should have added 2 types to the actual 6th gen. However, maybe not. And again, the 5th gen they added in like 157 Pokemon. They could have added in another type without actually, you know, giving the shaft to the other types. It wouldn't have been that hard. But Fairy type's looking all good. I mean, Gardevoir is a Fairy type. I believe Fairy type is it's resistant to, I think it's immune to Dragon type. I'm gonna have to search this up. But I believe it was immune to Dragon type, possibly. It was a weak to Poison types. It was actually strong against, resistant against, what was it called? Oh, I found it. Fairy type would have been, what was it, immune to Dragon type. It would have been strong against Dark and Fighting. It would have been weak against Poison and Steel.
What'll it do?
Huh.
It's a hit.
I'm still gonna have to
Will
remember
this
that.
Pokemon swap
But
change the flow of
Steel
battle?
being good against another type it's fine,
What's this?
but I don't really like it all that much. However, Dark,
A psychic
Fairy being good against Dark actually makes Gardevoir even better. And the fact that Poison is good against
still round to go.
good against
But the
Fairy
opponent
is not
appears
going to
weak.
really be a bad thing for Gardevoir, at least, because its Psychic type moves are already powerful enough to destroy any Poison type. But just thinking about it, Poison type sucks. What's Poison type even good against?
Wow!
Bug type,
Going
Grass
down.
type. Actually, no, Bug type in the original
Which
gen.
Pokemon is
But
coming out?
Grass type. Anything else? I don't really remember it being good against anything else other than that.
The
Yeah, it's not
Pokemon
good against
are
anything else
entirely
other than that.
different
It's
types.
resistant on a few Pokemon.
Here's the
Poison,
Pokemon
I believe Ground. It's the Steel type's completely immune to it.
Poison.
And the fact that Poison and Toxic, by extension, is completely, well, useless on Poison types and Steel, kind of makes them a bit not all that great. I think Poison type needed another type it was actually, well, strong against, so it's actually going to be cool seeing Poison actually useful, but again, Poison doesn't really matter since Gardevoir is still Psychic. I don't really care about any of the other Fairy types. I just want Gardevoir back. Making that stronger is going to be so much. It's so much better. That was my favorite Pokemon out of the 3rd gen. I gotta admit. It goes in with Haunter and Umbreon as some of my favorite Pokemon ever.
What's this?
Oh, Haunter, I absolutely adore you.
What a furious battle!
Nothing beats Haunter unless you have Gengar, but you need friends to have Gengar,
The commands
which
are
sadly
issued.
I did not.
The attack is still continuous.
Hitmonlee. Hitmonlee is actually, until this playthrough of
Neither one is conceding an inch.
Stadium, I really wasn't using Hitmonlee all that much in all the games. However,
Yeah, it's a hit.
Hitmonlee is actually a very, very good choice of Pokemon.
There's a distinct difference in the number
I'm gonna
of
be-
remaining Pokemon.
I'm gonna be kind of open with you.
There's nothing left.
I never used fighting types
Oh, it's poison.
at all.
Will it be okay?
And the first couple of
The
gens, it
remaining
wasn't
Pokemon
into.
count is 3-1.
I never like really used a
There, it's a hit.
fighting type as one of my main Pokemon until about the 4th gen actually. The second game I played of Diamond actually, I had him a champ in that one. But other than that, I never really had a mainstay fighting type until then, except for Blaziken. But then again, I never really used Blaziken. But I always had Swampert just because I love Mudkip, and originally I really did like the water ground type, even though I never really liked Quagsire. I liked Wooper. Wooper is one of my favorite Pokemon. Wooper's just cute and innocent and lovable, and it's a water type and has ground type moves, and I love you, Wooper. If I had a pet, I would have a Wooper as a pet.
This is it, the final battle.
I can picture it.
Glory of the championship.
I don't know, the stupid little smile makes me laugh.
They go
Okay,
into
but
battle.
Hitmonlee.
High jump.
Hitmonlee would have made this game so much easier as a child. I'm not gonna lie, actually having a fighting type move would have been much, much more useful as a child. A lot of the actual guides online I was actually using at the time actually said like use Machamp, and at least I remember using Machamp on Pokemon Stadium too, but
Is down. The intense battle continues.
Machamp in this game, if it had submission, fine.
The trainers
I would have used it. However, just having low kick really isn't all that useful. I believe Hitmonlee at like level 50 in this game has like 149, 148 around there attack power. Machamp has like 159, but definitely Hitmonlee has the better selection of fighting moves. But Hitmonlee is a one-trick pony, trust me. It doesn't have anything but fighting type moves, and high jump kick and jump kick have never been my favorite, considering they can backfire and hit you if they miss. But Hitmonlee actually has much better speed than Machamp does, so can't take a hit like Machamp, but it can possibly, or let's act faster than Machamp will.
But the opponent appears beat. What's next?
Okay, Flareon, you're gonna have to die. Oh, sorry, you're gonna have to get KO'd. You don't die in Pokemon. Other than like a few things in Gen 1 and some of the creepier Pokedex entries in the later gens, you don't die. Nobody dies, Pokemon.
The remaining Pokemon count is 3-1. The battle has become one-sided.
And when I think about it, possibly again one of the creepier entries was probably Yamask, or was it something like that? It was like 5th generation Pokemon, basic type. Well, not basic type, but a basic Pokemon, not involved. I believe it was like each and every single one of these things born. It was like something like born from the dead soul of some like human or something, or basically each and every single one of them. Or that's actually born, like hatched out of an egg, meant somebody died. And if you're actually breeding these things, I wonder how many people you're killing. But that's the Prime Cup. They're gonna get much harder. Specifically, the Master Cup is going to be bullshit, since they actually use a Pokemon we can't use. There's actually Prime Cup, believe it or not, there's Pokemon we can't use, and the bastard has a Mew. That's gonna get to me. See ya, everybody.